Thanks everybody for tuning in. My name is CleverDingbat and welcome to the Ready Player One Book Club Session 6. Tonight, we're going to be going through chapters 25 through 29 in Ready Player One. When last we left Wade, he was about to commit suicide. Shoto shows up and arranges a chat with Parzival. Shoto wants to land on Falco, and Wade gives him permission, but it takes him some time to get there. So let's go ahead and get into chapter 25. So chapter 25 starts out, Shoto arrives. It takes him a little over an hour to get to Falco. Shoto arrives at Parzival's stronghold with bad news. He shows up in black mourning clothes because Daito didn't just die in game. He died in real life as well. The Sixers had killed him, but Wade wants to know how the whole thing happened, and Shoto wants to tell him so that he knows, because Shoto's dealing with a lot of feelings about this, and he don't know who he can talk to about it. So Shoto plays the feed, goes through the whole situation about them being on Frobaz, and one of them was Shoto was essentially standing guard on the ship and keeping watch, making sure that the Sixers weren't going to come in behind them and flank them, while Daito completed the Zork trophies and put them all on the shelves to get the key and blow the whistle. But a big battle happened with Shoto, Daito, and the Sixers. Daito ended up having to use the beta capsule to turn into Ultraman, and did not survive his encounter in game, and did not survive in real life either. Shoto and Wade both exchanged their true identities. Shoto's real name is Akihide, and Parzival also gives Shoto his real name, which is Wade. And they essentially feel like if people are dying for real, maybe it's time for us to be honest with one another. Wade tells Shoto that for them, the real world is not their world. Their world is the Oasis. And they are going to fight for it. They are going to fight to keep it. And keep it as their world and not have the Sixers take it over. So they have to win the contest. Daito willed the beta capsule that turns you into Ultraman for 3 minutes to Wade. The beta capsule, like I said earlier, Daito used it to turn into Ultraman. Actually, I just said that, so never mind. I'm just repeating myself. So anyway, Daito willed the beta capsule to Wade, or Daito willed the beta capsule to Wade. Wade initially doesn't want to take it though, and he doesn't want to take it because it's an artifact. Like, this thing's valuable. He feels that Shoto should have it because his brother died. But Shoto doesn't want it. He doesn't want it because it's always going to remind him of the events that surrounded Daito's death. So Parzival accepts it. And in exchange, Shoto also tells him that his mission is no longer to win. His mission is no longer to win this contest. His mission is revenge. He wants to kill those who killed his brother. And Parzival gives Shoto a Masamune sword. It's a +5 Vorpal. For those of you who do not know, the thing can decapitate. And he gives it to Shoto. Falco and not a Star Fox reference. +5, that new horde race. Falco is actually it's a reference to a band from the 80s, Amadeus. Amadeus was their big hit. So if you've ever heard Falco's Amadeus. And that is essentially where chapter 25 just like it was a very short chapter, and it's all about what happened with Shoto and Daito. But I do want to get into some of the analysis here. The line, like this chapter, more than anything, as well as Wade's stack blowing up. The line between life in the Oasis and life in the real world becomes increasingly blurred because of Daito's death. Parzival is surprised to learn that Daito and Shoto, who had presented themselves as brothers and never had actually met in real life, they were actually only brothers because they played together all the time and they were best friends. So when there's a term in the book for people who forsake society in Japan. This is a Japanese cultural thing. They reject society, and their families essentially take care of them. And a lot of this happened a lot in Japan around this time for our characters and for this world in Ready Player One. And they referred to this group of people as the missing millions. I forget what the traditional term is, but they referred to them as the missing millions. And the reason for this, voluntary isolation was because they wanted to commit themselves 100% to the contest. So once essentially Daito and Shoto in real life gave up their real lives to invest all of it into the Oasis and to this contest, that's when they made the decision, we are brothers now. Makes sense. In the previous chapter, Parzival, he's on the verge of suicide when Nolan Sorrento secures the crystal key. And Shoto is in mourning over Daito's death. And Shoto is now on a quest for revenge. Daito's death, though, it does lead to a new level of trust and friendship between Shoto and Parzival. This is symbolized through their exchange of real-life personal details like their names, Akihide and Wade. Shoto is filled with regret that he never knew Daito's real name and never met him in real life. When Shoto actually suggested this to Daito at one point, and Daito rejected it and got mad at him and didn't speak to him for a few days as a result. Parzival and Shoto's exchange of weapons symbolizes their new collaboration together. In such dire times, honor and cooperation have become more important than any desire to succeed independently. So essentially, this is the moment at which Wade and Shoto kind of team up in a sense. So they have each other's backs going forward. And we're going to move on to chapter 26. So now that all the sad death stuff, and a pretty heavy chapter for not only Wade but Shoto, and us losing Daito is out of the way, we're looking for the second gate now. Wade has a revelation while he is mulling, like he's holding the key, he's holding the jade key, he's thinking about this over and over and over again, and he's holding the square foil, the square foil that the key was covered in, and it reminds him the square piece of paper. He just looks at it, he does some research on it, and it folds itself into a silver unicorn, which reminds Wade of Blade Runner, the movie we watched in the community movie night this past weekend. So he heads into, he goes to try and find to continue the quest, he has to take the test. And so he thinks about the unicorn foil, reminds him of Blade Runner, and he's starting to think about like what kind of test could there be in Blade Runner, and then he realizes, duh, it's the Voight-Kampff. It's the Voight-Kampff test. So he's like, where can I find a Voight-Kampff machine in the Oasis? Well, the Tyrell building. There are replicas of it all over the Oasis, because it's available to it's available for when people build a new planet or build their own world, and want to fill up the skyline with something that looks really awesome, because the Tyrell building is such a striking image, and one that like if you've ever seen Blade Runner, like the building. So he goes and he finds a replica of it from the movie in search for a Voight-Kampff machine. This machine in Blade Runner, what it does is it tests people and replicants to determine whether they are a human or a replicant. Parzival, when he gets there, he has to fight off a ton of security guards. He reaches the Voight-Kampff machine and he puts the jade key inside, and when he does, this opens the second gate and he tumbles inside. This time he has to play a 3D recreation of the Capcom game Black Tiger. This was ported by James Halliday, because this was one of Halliday's favorite games. It was a game that he could beat on 1 quarter. It was also a game that he would go to forget about all of his troubles with his home life and his parents, because when his parents would argue, he would go down to the arcade, he would take a quarter, and he would go play Black Tiger and beat it while his parents were fighting. So Parzival makes it through this. Like, he played Black Tiger very early on. There was a big Black Dragon poster in Interact's office on their website, on his website in the very early days, before the scoreboard had replaced Interact in Interact's office on Halliday's website. And when the game originally released, it released in Japan as essentially what it translates to as Black Dragon. So it's not Black Tiger. They changed it for Western audiences to Black Tiger from Black Dragon. Personally, I think it should have stayed Black Dragon, but that's just me. So Parzival beats it. He's triumphant, and as a special reward, he gets a giant toy robot. And he can select, like, there's hundreds to choose from, but he selects Leopardon. I personally would have probably taken Wing Zero or Death Scythe Hell from Gundam Wing, but that's me. But Parzival decided to take Leopardon. For those that don't know, Leopardon is the giant robot of Spider-Man, who is the Japanese version of Spider-Man. This is during the very early years of Super Sentai. Think like Power Rangers. A Battle for the Universe is kind of an animated version of this. Voltron. The list could go on and on about Super Sentai, but essentially this is one of the very first iterations of it. But it's called Spider-Man. You should look it up on YouTube. It's actually really cool, but at the same time, it's like, this is a straight up like that's Spider-Man. Like it's literally the Japanese version of Spider-Man. But he has a giant robot called Leopardon, and this is one of Wade's favorite shows. And he's like, I can't not take Leopardon, no matter if any of the other robots are better. Like, I have to take Leopardon because I just want Leopardon, which, I mean, totally would be. You would have taken a Xenogear, Zacchaeus? Yeah. Xenogears is cool, man. I actually have a copy of it for PS1. I've actually never played through it. It was one of the ones that I'd wanted to play, but I haven't done it. Maybe we should do that sometime. That could be fun. After putting the robot in his inventory, Parzival gets a clue for the location of the crystal key. A glowing red circle with a star inside. And he knows exactly where the key is. Bit of the analysis for this chapter. Parzival's obsessive study of Halliday's favorite bits of 80s pop culture has prepared him well for the second Gates challenge, since Blade Runner was referenced in Interact's Almanac no less than 14 times, per the text. Parzival has committed the film to memory and has also mastered the Black Tiger game. He became convinced of its importance because of a painting by Anorak on Halliday's website. That's Anorak's office. Just as the first gate placed Gunters inside the film War Games, the second game placed Gunters inside a classic video game in first person in 3D. Halliday has made sure questers will viscerally experience his favorite media. For Parzival and other Gunters, these experiences are compelling and satisfying. Yet at the same time, they are doubly removed from reality, simulations inside a larger simulation. So it's kind of like you're getting incepted inside of, Halliday's mind doing these things, because of it being a simulation within a simulation. And sometimes it's a simulation within a simulation within a simulation, which is really neat. But with that's the end of chapter 26. We're going to go ahead and move on to chapter 27 now. Chapter 27, this chapter and the quest for the crystal key is an homage entirely to the Rush album 2112. Particularly the song The Temples of Syrinx, which is exactly where the key's hidden. The song also includes the lyric, "And the meek shall inherit the earth," which is interesting.
Parzival is just hoping to inherit the crystal key inside the temple behind a waterfall. He finds a 1974 Gibson Les Paul crammed into a rock, like full on King Arthur Sword in the Stone style, which is literally probably one of the cool, as someone who plays guitar and has played guitar, probably one of the coolest ways to display a guitar, especially a 74 Gibson. So it's just super cool. Parzival realizes, the red circle, and from the last chapter, how it ends with a glowing circle with a star, and a glowing red circle with a star inside of it. Like, he knows this is the 2112 album cover. Like, done. He also knows that there is a planet called Syrinx, and there is the song, The Temples of Syrinx. So he's like, the key's got to be on Syrinx. So he goes to Syrinx, and based off of the concept of this album, because it tells the story of a dystopian future, and all that, and he just basically follows that story, and he finds the Les Paul behind a waterfall, crammed into a rock. Parzival easily extracts the guitar and can't resist the urge to play the Rush song Discovery, which is about a hero who finds a guitar behind a waterfall. This is why Parzival thought that maybe, the key might be behind the waterfall, because the hero in the song, he finds the guitar behind the waterfall. Well, in this case, he finds a guitar behind a waterfall, and this is the song that the hero plays. So Parzival is going to play Discovery. When he plays the song, a secret message appears letting him know that the third gate cannot be unlocked alone. He places the guitar on the altar, and it transforms into the crystal key. He doesn't get a hint this time. There's only a single letter, A. It's monogrammed on the handle of the crystal key. That A symbol, though, it adorns the front gates of Castle Anorak. This was also the symbol on Halliday's character sheets. It was Halliday's monogram, because his D&D character his D&D character's name was Anorak. So this is essentially Halliday's logo on the key. And he thinks that, obviously the Crystal Gate is going to be in Castle Anorak. So, he already knows. The Sixers, though, have already figured this out, of course, and have surrounded the castle with an invisible shield using the Orb of Ozyavox, which is operated by a 99th level wizard. You have to be a 99th level wizard in order to use the orb, to cast it, and it basically surrounds everything in a circular, impenetrable force field. It's an invisible shield. As long as the wizard is touching the orb, though, the shield cannot be broken. So, Wade has a plan. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. And it's going to require tons of luck to pull it off. And this is one of those moments where Wade's kind of going Han Solo here, slash Indiana Jones, and just like throwing caution to the wind and hoping that it's going to pay off. So he's going all in here. And with that, we're going to move on to chapter 28.
So in chapter 28, Wade starts to put his plan in motion. He has altered his identity of Bryce Lynch to show that he owes over $20,000 on his IOI Visa card. He knows this means that they'll come arrest him and put him into indentured servitude. It's the 21st century's version of a debtor's prison. This is thanks to a tip, though, from Parzival, Artemis, H, and Shoto. They've all passed the second, or thanks to a tip from Parzival, Artemis, H, and Shoto have all passed the second gate and grabbed the crystal key. So the top four, the high four, if you will, right now, all have a copy of the crystal key now. After seeing their success on the scoreboard, Wade self-destructs his system. He turns it to slag and waits for the IOI cops to take him away. They toss him in the back of a car with a couple other soon to be unidentified or soon to be indentured servants, and they drive away to IOI headquarters. There's a whole big exchange with Wade and the guys because he's essentially having he in the Oasis, like his stronghold Falco, like Wade he deletes all of his data, like all of his files, everything, because he doesn't want them to be able to identify him as Parzival. He's got to protect his identity. He's really got to sell this thing, and he even turns his system to slag. To which the IOI officers coming to arrest him let him know that was a dumb move because they could have sold the system to help pay some of his debt off, so he wouldn't have to work so hard. But here's the thing about being an indentured servant to IOI: they make sure that you will never pay your debt off. So you're basically just turning yourself into an IOI slave, as we will see in the next chapter. So let's go ahead and go into chapter 29. In chapter 29, the world hasn't changed much since Wade has last been outside. There's still lots of filth and poverty. Just as because he's been in isolation inside of his apartment, since he moved to Columbus. Wade is put into a gray jumpsuit with plastic shoes and frisked for hidden devices. Everything is gray and monochrome and depressing and awful. Well, I mean, you get the picture. It's kind of just dull, boring, and uninteresting. Have I played Brutal Legend? I have not played Brutal Legend, Zekitis. I do have it. I have a copy of it. I haven't ever played it. I have wanted to play it though, because it's my kind of game. So yeah, the world's just kind of dull and it's gray, and it's like his existence at IOI is the worst. It's borderline, like, well, it's not even borderline. It is slavery. IOI administers a skills test to see what job would be perfect for Wade to work off his massive debt. The answer was Oasis Technical Support Representative 2. It's boring. He is a tier 2 tech support guy. Whoa. That sucks. He's tagged just as an animal would be and led to his habitation unit. a capsule with a padded foam floor, straight out of like William Gibson's Neuromancer, right? It's equipped with a TV, but it only plays IOI propaganda shows. These are like training videos disguised as sitcoms, which is just the worst. Wade struggles to get sleep, and he's wondering if Artemis is missing him while he's away. So Parzival has no trouble, just throwing caution to the wind and entering into this. It's absolutely crazy. The IOI agents, though, when they get there to arrest him, they think they're arresting Bryce Lynch, false identity, that Wade has assigned himself. After IOI blew up the stacks where he lived, they have no idea they are arresting Wade Watts, who is Parzival, the guy they tried to kill. The leading gunter they attempted to murder, both in real life and inside the Oasis, more than once. The arrest is no surprise to Wade because, he altered his data to make sure that this was going to happen, because this is the plan. The plan is infiltration. That's what he's going to do. And he has actually prepared by taking anti-anxiety meds, because he knows this is going to be a very stressful situation for him. And this is all part of Wade's plan to get to the third gate. Wade enters the real world willingly. Winning the virtual quest depends on this willingness. He has transformed himself once again, using the confidence he acquired inside the Oasis to play the real world boldly and strategically. Wade must now complete a quest in real life. Reality in this aspect seems to be a sort of game to him. Just as he previously rejects the real world by painting his apartment window black, he now rejects the virtual reality by pushing away the visor over his eyes. So we're now seeing Wade shift. We're seeing him shift to the real world because he has to leave the virtual. This is we're quickly getting to our final act. I think if you are listening, you probably have about 4 hours left in the book. We have 10 chapters left, so two more weeks of book clubs left. We're 75% of the way through the book right now. Like we are approaching the final act. So what did you guys think of the reading this week? I, for one, this is another one of those points in the book. Like, indirectly, I divided these chapters up so that there would be something in there. Like, there was going to be a lot of exposition. But I accidentally divided them up by dividing them up in 5 chapters, where there was going to be something that was going to keep you wanting to read to the next chapter, which I just think that is, that's just Klein writing this book. It's no triumphant feat of mine by any stretch of the imagination. It just worked out that way. Because I was like, 5 chapters seems about the right number. It keeps you wanting to read. It keeps you wanting to know more. It keeps you invested in the story. As much as like it's the 5 chapter blocks in this book feel like very much like there's a setup, there's a climax, there's a payoff, and then there's kind of a cliffhanger. So it's very like Klein wrote this
very interestingly. And in this one, Wade probably makes the most ballsy move that he could make, which is to go in the real world and try to infiltrate IOI. So we'll see what he does next. It's going to be very, very interesting. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Zekitus, Zakwa. Not ballsy enough to hide stuff in his testicles. I mean, that's that would be. I mean, technically, if you were to hide stuff in your testicles, wouldn't that be not ballsy because you wouldn't have balls anymore at that point? Because they'd be damaged. So, would that be a thing? I don't know. Balls of silicon boards. Tis fair. What was your favorite moment from the reading this week? Whatever motherboards are made of in these days. Oh, everything's probably made of silicon. Well, good point. This is 2045. Probably not made of silicon anymore. They're probably on the next they should be onto whatever, is better now. Maybe atomic. Quantum computing at this point. I think that would probably be the only real way to achieve what this does, but it would have to be a form of quantum it would have to be like an actual, form of quantum computing that'll work, I'd say replaying Rush is probably the best part. Yeah, I agree. I enjoy. Too bad it wasn't a set of badass drums. I mean, yeah, that would have been cool. As a guitar player, that's like me, I would have, I identified with this for sure. But a drum set would have made sense too. Strictly Casual Official, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you so very much, man. We're recording our book club session right now. We just finished up with chapter 29 and are moving on into discussion. It's such a cool, in all honesty, I think my favorite song off 2112 is The Temple of Syrinx. And it's largely because of this book, because don't get me wrong, I loved Rush, but I had never really listened to 2112 all that much. Until this book. And then I listened to it a little bit more. And I think Temple of Syrinx is probably my favorite song off the album. Just because Geddy Lee doesn't sound like himself. He still sounds like himself, but he sounds like more, it's more progressive rock, like how today is. Yo, a Strictly Casual Official coming in with the host and the raid. Thank you. How are you all tonight? Thank you for coming over. Seriously. And Boba Shinga, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Dude, the background I'm living for. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It took me a while to get everything made up like that. CJ Woodland, thank you for the follow. Kept Slick
Slyx, thank you for the follow as well. Appreciate the support, guys. Cheesy Plays and Cloaky Brokey. Queez TV, thank you. Oh my god, guys. You guys are showing me all the love tonight. I appreciate it so very much. Ready Player One is a great movie. I don't care what anyone says except the ending. Needed a better ending. So here's the thing. My only problem with Ready Player One, the movie, which we are going to be having a special movie night for over in my Discord on November the 24th, because we're in the middle of the book club right now. We just finished up session 6, so we just finished with chapters 25 through 29 tonight. And Wade he just got the crystal key, and we were actually just talking about Rush. Because he had to go to the planet Syrinx and get the guitar from behind the waterfall and play Discovery in order to get the key. But it's such a good book. It's a good book. My only problem with the movie, like I said, is that the book exists, because the movie's great. Like it's a super fun movie. It's probably one of the best. It's one of the best derivative works ever made, in my opinion. And I'm not using the term derivative in a bad sense either. I'm using that in like to me that doesn't mean that it's bad. Most people, when they say a derivative work, they think that it's bad. Thank you for the hydrate, much appreciated. And also thank you for the follow, Mr. L. Wood. But we do this every Monday at 9 p.m. guys. We do a book club. Thank you for the hydrate again. And I'm gonna have to hydrate again. Hold on. I'm actually gonna have to go get some more water in a minute, but I can give you some coffee instead. Dude, everybody's hit. You guys are trying to drown me. I'll have to go get some water in a minute. But yeah, guys, we do this every waterboarding. Yeah, totally. We do this every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We do our Ready Player One book club. This will be next Monday at 9. This week we are reading chapters 30 through 35. 30 through 34. And then the week after will be 35 through 39. And then we're working towards November the 24th, where we will be doing a special movie night in my Discord for Ready Player One. We'll be showing the movie there, and we're doing a giveaway right now if you do ! In chat for Ready Player 2. It's a player.gg campaign. You can do ! Book Club to get the details about the book club if you guys want to join in on that. ! Discord to get in my Discord community, so you can get in access on our movie nights, all of our updates, all that sort of stuff. And ! Giveaway for our Ready Player 2 giveaway, where we're going to be giving away a copy either via Audible credit, Kindle book, or physical book, whichever you want if you win. And if you guys are interested, I also have ! Playlist there. That is a playlist I created of all the music that's mentioned in Ready Player One, available on Spotify for everybody, if you guys want to follow that. So, yes, Boba Shinga, like I said, there is a sequel coming, and it will be that will be happening November 24th. That's when the new book comes out. They'll probably turn it into a movie too. Movie night in Discord. How do you do it? I just stream directly in my Discord to we have a voice channel in there set up called The Theater. You just basically join in there. 10 p.m. Saturday. This Saturday, let me see what's on the docket for this Saturday. What movie are we watching? I can't remember off the top of my head. I had this planned out. Last week we watched Blade Runner. This weekend it's going to be Hackers. So we're going to be watching Hackers on in my Discord on November the 14th in my Discord, 10 p.m. It'll be streamed directly in the Discord there. All you'll have to do is just join. Do you think the planet Syrinx was purposely put in Sector 21? Totally. 100%. This happens in Mr. Elwood streams too. We drown this man with hydrates. Nice. Seriously, guys, I appreciate you all for hanging out and coming over. You guys are awesome. But yeah, the planet Syrinx was definitely put in Sector 21 on purpose because, I mean, Temples of Syrinx is a song off the album 2112. What site do you use? Just Netflix, Hulu type deal stuff? I actually will rent it on Amazon. If Netflix has it available, I'll use my Netflix login and do it that way. Or like if Hulu has it, I'll do it that way too. But 9 times out of 10, I just end up either renting it on Amazon, buying it on Amazon because I'm still trying to build my movie collection back up over there because I have all these movies on DVD and Blu-ray out in the living room, and I'm just trying to get them out of my life. I don't need them taking up space. Like, I have over 400 of those things, and I want them gone. VHS, I used to have a ton of VHSs, but I rebought everything on DVD when it came out, so I still have, I have literally everything on DVD and Blu-ray, but I don't watch them anymore. Laserdisc, I don't have any Laserdiscs, but my Star Wars trilogy, the original DVD releases that came out with special editions, they actually ripped the Star Wars Laserdisc versions onto DVDs and gave them away as theatrical releases with those DVDs. So I will never get rid of those DVDs because those are the original theatrical releases, and the theatrical release is the best version of the original trilogy in my opinion. Sounds like a garage sale is in the works. Man, I've been parting off stuff for years now. DVDs, I wouldn't want to join the Discord. Awesome. Make sure if you guys join the Discord that you go into the welcome channel and react to the message in there. I think it's the rules and welcome channel. Let me double check. Because if you do that, it'll automatically set up your roles for you, so you'll be able to see everything. Yeah, it's in the welcome. It's just react with that, and you'll be in there like swimwear. Thank you guys. Seriously. I appreciate you. But yeah, so I have I don't have laser discs, but I have laser disc rips, I guess is the best way of putting it. Executives. However, I do still have vinyls. I can't get rid of my vinyls. I got rid of a few of the vinyls to actually build my streaming computer a couple years ago. I had a bunch of Coheed records that were Coheed and Cambria records that were limited. And I sold enough to build a computer. So it was pretty cool. Betamax? No. No way. Betamax. They don't have 8 tracks either. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this out, and then we're going to get into playing some video games. But I appreciate everybody for hanging in here. We're still going to be streaming after this, but I just got to finish the recording for the YouTube, and then once the recording's over, I can turn music back on, I can turn alerts back on, all that fun stuff, and I'll go ahead and I'll play everybody's alerts that they that followed and all that good stuff. and I will go get me some water. So sit back, relax, and we're gonna continue on here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this session 6 of the Ready Player One book club. Don't forget, we have movie night coming up this weekend on November the 14th. We will be watching Hackers at 10 p.m. on Saturday, November the 14th. Also, don't forget about our giveaway, which will be linked in the comments down below. It's a player.gg campaign for a copy of Ready Player 2. That will coincide with our movie night for Ready Player One that will be in my Discord, also linked down below. So please join up on the Discord and get all of our notifications whenever new content is posted. And we go live on Twitch. I stream live on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 p.m. on Monday. And then on Wednesday and Friday, we start at 10 p.m. and we go generally to about 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. So come over, hang out with us. We'd love to have you geek out with us. And I will see you guys in the next one. And remember, be excellent to each other. Peace.